cb900f valve lash check. How am I gonna do this? If I had the jacked up in the middle, I'd just put it in fifth and shake the rear wheel back and forth, but since it's not jacked up, I'm just going to roll it, I guess. How about that? And it rolls a lot easier in the higher gears. As far as turning the motor over, it's a lot easier in the higher gears. So if you don't have a lift, and it's a pain in the ass to put the thing up on blocks, and this works. My Moto Guzzi video from like a long time ago, it has a center stand on it, and you can just rock the rear wheel and turn it over to get the points set. Anyway, or the valve adjustment. There it goes. Let's see. I suspect it's this one. It sounds like one of them just has the tiniest little leak going. Like you can kind of hear it popping back a little, or not even popping, but just a little air rushing sound, and a little bit of a thump at the exhaust. So I don't know what's going on, but something's off by a little bit. Let's see what we got here. That's good. Let's see if we can get an 08 in there. I go by the metrics. 0.08 millimeter. 0.8 of a millimeter. 0.8 of a millimeter. Oh, something like that. Got clearance there. Plenty there. Plenty there. Plenty there. I mean, it could just be sound. I might be being hypercritical about the valves, but I don't want anyone who buys this to have any issues whatsoever with it. You know? That seemed good. I'm not really worried about a larger gap as long as it's not massive, because that will just make it tick, but it won't make it run bad. What's coming up next? Looks like number 1. Just watch the lobes forward and back. Yeah. I mean, if you're at this point in watching a video about valve adjustments, you probably figured out that when the lobes are pointed forward and back on almost all 4-cylinder bikes, that's the point where the top dead center is, and you can check all the valves at once. It's a lot easier than going through that rigmarole where they show you in the book to like check 1, 3, or well, I guess that'd be on a car, but check the intake on 1 and the exhaust on 3 and the intakes on, you can do it that way. But it's a lot easier, I think, just to do it 1 cylinder at a time, and then you can do all the ones on that cylinder and have it eliminated, rather than having to write out all your notes and make sure you didn't miss a cylinder. Plenty gap, plenty gap, plenty gap. Whew, I may not have to work on anything. It can just be my imagination. Who's coming up next? That would be number 3. One more left, and it's good. I did a valve grind on it too, on all the valves, quite thoroughly. Man, this bike goes like a bat out of HE Depot hockey sticks. to the one I started with. Well, that's good to know that my valve adjustment stayed. I was kind of, it's got to be a tuning issue if it's anything at all, or maybe it's just my imagination. It's not like the thing has a hesitation or anything. When it was cold still when I was adjusting it too, that could be it. It just wasn't fully warmed up, and it has no choke. I can't seem to find the choke, but its valves are so that are correct, and it's tuned close enough that it doesn't really need the choke. You twist the throttle a couple times and it starts. And turn up the idle a little when it's cold, and then turn it down once it's warm. Okay, anyway. Well, now for me the task is going to be making sure the valve cover seals when it goes back on, because this gasket is a bit weathered. There's a little damaged right there, and I wish I had a new one, but I don't. But if I clean this up well enough and put it back on carefully, it'll seal. I have to spend a little extra time on it because I don't have another gasket. I think I do up at my dad's house, but that's 300 miles away, and then an hour up a mountain, and then I'd have to dig through all my junk there to find it, and then I'd probably go, oh yeah, that's right, I don't have it anymore. So that's not an option. But I can use something a little better than silicone, apparently. Because silicone it doesn't stay set under heat and oil. The oil will break it down. If there's no oil, it'd be fine. But and you don't want silicone going through your motor. I don't think I really had an issue with it here, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I'm going to use something different. I think I had to just run a small bead of the rubber stuff. Actually, I have Permatex. I'm going to beat a Permatex down in there. Permatex semi-hardening is good stuff. It will seal stuff that I had it seal gas. It's kind of stuck in there. Maybe I better leave this part. Let's peel this one off. Anyway, I'll come back to that in a minute. So yeah, that's how you check your valve lash, and it checks good, so I don't have to change anything. This was kind of a pain getting this all figured out, but finally got it. I wonder if it can be seen, but right there, there's a screw. Yeah, right there. It has a 10mm bolt stock that holds this the tensioner piece back for this chain, I believe. Or no, is that for? Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of a small bolt for its spot, and it's stripped out. So, and there's not. I didn't want to put a bolt back into the aluminum, so I got a threaded insert. And so it actually has a standard thread bolt in there. It's a quarter 20, I think, on a screw with a screw head. But I put the steel threaded insert in there that was like a 1/2 inch, and then it goes down to the quarter 20, so that I could really tighten that down and not have to ever worry about it stripping. I think that's an upgrade, personally. Alright. And I should probably, I cleaned the plugs, they are kind of old, but alright, anyway, that's my video. That's how you check your valve lash. This checked good, so I'm going to put it back together and see how it goes. I'll go for another ride when it's done.